Hello, everyone. Hope you are doing well. So, today we are going to jump into our crucial uh, mock session practice, and which is designed to enhance your performance in the CAT exam, particularly in the VA section and reading comprehension section. So, VA that stands for verbal ability and reading comprehension RC. As many of you know, this section can be make or break can make or break your score, as it not only tests your reading speeds and comprehension, but also your ability to analyze, interpret, and critically evaluate the given text. Okay, so let's begin with our reading comprehension passage. What we supposed to do, we need to read the passage carefully, and we will discuss the questions that follow. Right. So let's look at the direction for question. So what is the direction given here? So if you look into it, the direction states that answer the following questions based on the information provided below. Okay. So look into the text. What does the text point out here? A new academic discipline called international relations theory. Uh, So wrote the enthusiasm surrounding scientific research in the 1950s and met the need for predictability in the face of a nuclear Armageddon, isn't it? Just 2 years after the Cuban Missile Crisis, theorists like Kenneth Waltz said that the Cold War was making the international system safer. With only two poles, a balance of power was naturally bound to occur. He argued that what? He argued because states integrate weaker states within their sphere of influence and divide the cake, creating fewer opportunities for conflict. These so-called international relations theorists drew on ancient thinkers and history to predict behavior that goes with a particular type of international system. Based on Thucydides' account, the Peloponnesian War between Sparta and Athens in the year of 431 to 404 BC came to be known as the first bipolar international system. So bipolar is generally referred to two superpower, right, countries. So the key political theorists like Alexis de Tocqueville, Karl Marx, Friedrich Nietzsche, and Michel Oakeshott had already conceptualized politics as the struggle between two poles and served as an inspiration for their colleagues who studied international politics. Yet, the precise origins of thinking in terms of bipolarity and world order are murky. The meaning of murky is called as something which is unclear. So, and if you talk about the word called as Arma Dragon, so Arma Dragon is referring to a catastrophic, final and catastrophic conflict of war, catastrophic conflict of war, often associated with the end of the world or a major global disaster, isn't it? Now, similar to that, if you talk about another one that's called as a couple of words which we need to focus here. So Thucydides account. So when we talk about Thucydides account, it is indicating about Thucydides, an ancient Greek historian known for his account of the, you can say that, a Peloponnesian War, right? His work is often mentioned in studies of international relations, isn't it? Now, similar to that, we also find out a couple of political theorists like Tocqueville, Karl Marx, Friedrich Nietzsche, and Michel Oakeshott, isn't it? So it is also stated that Howe served as an inspiration for their colleagues who studied international politics, but ancient philosophers, yeah, the international politics, yet the precise origins of thinking in terms of bipolarity and world order are not clear. Now, after that, it is stated ancient philosophers like Plato, who talked about political order, were followed by church fathers like Augustine of Hippo, who talked about the city of God, right? So, and Enlightenment thinkers like Immanuel Kant, who believed the two republics would never go to war with each other. So because they want to avoid the destruction, you can say. Even as the Cold War bipolarity became commented in the minds of policymakers and university professors in the 1960s, there were always dissidents or contrarians. Dissidents or contrarians means called as opposed to each other from its consensus. So consensus means called as opinion, right? So talk of a new international order tends to emerge at moments when new metrics for measuring power beyond hard indicators such as military capacity and the amount of economic output that came out to help better understand changing realities. Right. In the 1970s, Japan economic growth, driven by technological advancement, positioned it was a potential major player in a multipolar world order. So bipolar and multipolar. Bipolar is called as a two superpower and multipolar is called as a more than two. Right. An argument further strengthened by the US withdrawal from Vietnam in 1973. The messy world of diplomacy is often reduced to a bloodless board game of playing reacting to each other's move. So, board game thinking, however, ignores that it is people and their ideas that determine what the world and its international affairs look like. Talking about an international system as if it is a game of strategy cleans to the fiction of foreign affairs as armchair negotiation between mustached men who have mustached men means called as old people who have a big mustache who have to take only each other's concern into account. It makes light of the rise of mass democracies and the sudden emergence of new countries that expound their new own ideologies after 1945. Decolonization and post war reconstruction led to an explosion of new worldviews, highlighting that power and spheres of influence could come only to those with an ideological project aimed at convincing a mass audience. Theorists, policymakers, and commentators in the global north in the 1950s and 60s came to realize that, on ideological terms, they were living in a multipolar world. Voices in the global south might have become more visible today as information media have become more accessible and economics have grown. But from the beginning, inception is called as a beginning, from the invention of modernity in the Enlightenment, decolonized territories have been part of an international conversation about the meaning of international system, isn't it? Now, as we have understood what the text is pointed, let's go for the kind of a passes and that its belongingness. So, if you say that what the author who's who is appointing this analytical and critical. So, what kind of a tone of the author when he presents this particular text? So, analytical and critical. And the passages are likely uh, from a, you can say that a scholarly article, or a book discussing international relations, political theory, or you can say that Cold War history. It provides an academic overview of the development of international relation theory, the philosopher roots, and the critic of its application in understanding global politics. Uh, so these are the things. Even you can say that reference to historical event, theorist, and shift in geopolitical thinking suggests that the passage could be from You can say that political science, um, or you can talk about historical textbook, a journey article on international relations, or a commentary on Cold War political theory. And if I talk about the main idea of the text is to what? Uh, is to explore the historical and theoretical foundation, historical and theoretical historical and theoretical foundations of international relations theory, especially the concept of bipolarity in the context of the Cold War. It tries to emphasize that international relations are not merely strategic games between states, but are also shaped by changing ideologies, economic realities, and voices from both the global north and south. Isn't it? Now, let's go to the question. So, what does the question point out here? Uh, Yeah. The question stated that all the following can be inferred as needs for international relations theory, except, right? So, this is the question that you would find out where uh, it is asked that what inference based questions, and this inference based questions stated about what? Now, it asks which of the statement cannot be inferred, right? It means it is stated, no, except, so all of the following can be inferred as need for international relation theory. So only one option is there which cannot be inferred from the text, right? So in that case, the question asks which of the statement cannot be inferred as a relation or need for the development of international relation theory, right? Now, if you look into that, the passage explains what? The passage explains several regions for what? Several regions for the creation, creation, and the development of international relations theory. Let's look at the choice. Which of the option cannot be inferred from the text? The first option said they were created to offer stability in the face of global nuclear threats, right? To provide stability in the face of nuclear threats. The passage mentions that international relations theory came out to help provide, you can say that stability, you- right, and predictability. Stability and predictability. Predictability during the Cold War when there was a threatened nuclear war. Second is called as they were needed to understand the dynamics of decolonization and newly independent states. Now, the text here also highlights that as many colonies gained independence after World War II, so there was a need to understand that the new dynamics and power structure that emerged, right? So, three, which is stated, they were essential for adapting to rapid technological advancement and their impact on global power structures. Now, in that case, it is trying to say to adapt to rapid technological advancement and their impact on global power structures. So, here in the passage states that in the 1970s, technological advancements such as Japan's economic rise necessitated new understanding of global dynamics. Four, it is stated that they were needed to advocate or support a bipolar world concept intended to secure the interest of a small country. Now, in that case, the option 4 is stated here what? To advocate for a bipolar world concept intended to secure the interest of small countries. So the choice suggests that international nations, therefore, were needed to promote a two superpower system, bipolar world, to protect smaller countries. However, the passage does not mention this. It only discusses the analysis of bipolarity, not supporting for it. Right. In that case, as we are talking about except, so option 4 is known as the appropriate. So because option 1 stated about what means stability in the face of global nuclear threats. This is correct as per the passage. The passage clearly mentions that the need for international relation theory arose to provide predictability in the middle of nuclear threats during the Cold War. So, in that case, this comes as an inference. Second, understanding decolonization and the newly independent state. This can be also inferred from the passage. It talks about decolonization and how we worldviews or how our worldviews emerge, requiring an understanding of three changes. Three, it is also said that they were essential for adapting to rapid technological advancement and their impact on global power studies. In this case, adapting to rapid technological advancement, there is also mentioned in the passage, it states that Japan's encouraged economic growth driven by technological advancement required a new understanding of global power. And four, it is stated they were needed to advocate or support for a bipolar and concept intended to secure the interest and interest and small accounts. Right now, in that case, this particular option, which is not supported, uh, not support or not advocating for a bipolar world to secure the interest of small countries. So, in that case, we can say this is not supported. This is not. This is not supported. This is not supported. Uh, you can say that by the passage, while the passage discusses the concept of bipolar world to measure superpowers, it takes not it takes not to say that international relation theories were developed to support for this or to protect smaller accounts. Instead, it focuses on what uh, analyzing and understanding the bipolar world dynamic. So, in that case, we can consider option 1, 2, 3 are inferred from the text. Only option 4 cannot be inferred from the text because the passage does not indicate that individual relation theory were asked to advocate for a bipolar world of protect small countries. Hence, you can say option 4 would be the most appropriate or correct sentence. Hope you understood this. That's all. Thank you.